I was unsettled, I was chained by my masters, and I was possibly falling in love. It's 2012, and I'm sitting on Clough Street in Cape Town in a cafe when I get a call from my good friend Duncan. "How's it, my man? What are you up to, my bro?" "Not too much, Dunks. I'm just sitting in the mozzarella bar." Yes, it's selling one type of cheese. Quite a pretentious place. Rejecting any notions of dairy diversity. But I'm here working on my thesis, William Zartman's Theories of Conflict Resolution. Why, what's up? "Hey, how about a trip to Namibia, hey? You, me, my girlfriend Anna, my esoteric friend Matthew. Hey, how about Angie, hey, the one you quite like?" "I don't know, Dunks. You know, I've got 25,000 words to write in the next few weeks, and I'm not exactly the outdoorsy type, and I imagine a Namibia experience will be camping, so... but I'll speak to Angie and I'll let you know." So Angie and I had been seeing each other for the previous kind of few weeks, and we'd got close very quickly. I found some of her traits to be rather endearing. She would often buy an apple to cure her garlic breath. I wish she would have done something else about it, but it was kind of strangely attractive. And but I broached the topic of a Namibia trip to her, and she said, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, probably, but I'm not too sure about that." She's from Minnesota, by the way. I mean, sure, Namibia sounds fun, I guess, but I'm just not sure." This went on for a few days when I was trying to play it cool and not seem too in her face, but eventually she came round to the idea. So I take stock of my thesis priorities and decide I'm in too. So 5 of us off to Namibia, we go, and it's 5 of us in this car, and I've got this good system, my thesis, about how I'm doing it. I've got my notes pinned up against the back window, and I'm typing on my lap. Angie and Anna in the back seats, Duncan and Matthew in the front, and the condition on me coming was that we'd stop every so often so that I could charge my laptop and keep going, and I ended up having to charge my fucking laptop on the most unusual, unorthodox things, like literally a pile of watermelons, just to keep going. But the relationship with Angie blossoms well. We find out these niches around the campsite very quickly. I'm a city boy from London, so I become the potato salad guy. That's what I do. I make potato salads. Pretty niche, I know, but who doesn't like a bit of potato? Angie, from rural Minnesota, does more outdoorsy stuff, so whilst I'm crafting my potato salad, she's over there somewhere in someone else's flannel, making tent poles or chopping wood with a hatchet. And we would go on these game drives in the local game reserves, and I'd be there continuing to type away at Zartman's theories, and she'd nudge me sitting next to me and say, "Hey, Rupert, check out the sparrow over there. Oh, there's a buzzard in the middle. Check out that." And I'd be like, and I'd say, "Yeah, thanks, Ange, that's fucking great. Yeah, just typing away. Yeah, just let me know when you see a leopard." Which was never. Because they're fuckers. And then around the campsite, she had other unusual rituals to deal with unwanted guests. I woke up one morning, unzipped the tent that we were staying in together, and she's laying out eggs. I say, "Hey, Ange, what are you doing? I see you're doing something with the eggs." I was kind of angling to expand my repertoire into the world of the omelette. And she said, "Oh, no, these eggs are so rotten. Oh, yeah, but they're going to stave off the baboons." I never knew that eggs could be used in self-defense. But, trying to be out of my comfort zone, and I embraced it. I said, "Okay, right." We even started talking about potential future trips, and she broached the idea of going to Zimbabwe. And I wasn't sure about this. I would have been happy with a night away in a motel on the outskirts of Cape Town. So the idea of Victoria Falls was pretty groovy, but we'd see what would happen there. Well, as with all good things, it came to an end, and we had to head back to Cape Town. And this is where shit really starts to hit the fan. We're driving back, and in the first day, we get 4 flat tires, to the extent that the front 2 wheels are literally riding on their rims. So we have to completely change our schedule. and end up having to seek lodging in a very hostile Afrikaner town called Multahua. The first light we come to is the Multahua Country Hotel, the oldest country hotel in Namibia, or so it's said. It was built in 1965, so I didn't really believe it. But we go in and we're greeted by a rather strange-looking bloke, a bit like the guy from Human Centipede. And he offers us an extortionate rate to stay there. But we nonetheless go in for dinner. And we're looking around this place, and it's rather strange. It's got these old white supremacist artifacts everywhere. It's got the old apartheid flag on the ceiling. It's got this is quite original, I'll give them this. It had like the old World War I German Kaiser Wilhelm flag as well. And other dubious artifacts. But nonetheless, we go in and bang, these plates of gemsbok and potato get like slammed in front of us without our election, some local Bambi-type creature. And we're eating this, and we notice this kind of red-faced, burly Afrikaner chap at the bar who looks at us, and as we're eating, he turns to the group of us and says, "Hey, where you from?" And I speak up proudly and go, "I'm British, actually." To which point he says, "You British?" And the red face suddenly becomes more purple in tinge. He gets out of his chair and starts charging towards me. Clearly, he hasn't quite forgiven the British for their agreeably harsh treatment of Afrikaners some 100 years ago. But just before he gets to me, I radically change my nationality and say, "No, I'm Irish. Go on." "Oh, I'm so..." What? British? No, I'm fucking Irish. What are you on about?" Which seems to diffuse the situation really well. He buys me a Guinness. And we get out of there unscathed. But we still haven't found a place to stay. So Duncan, who by this point has become like the father of the group, says that we should just go out into a field on the edge of town and just set up camp there. So we do this, and we're throwing our tent poles out. I mean, I'm not really getting involved. I'm just looking for some potatoes. But Angie's doing something. And suddenly, we all hear this kind of slight rustling in the bushes. And Duncan turns to us and goes, "Guys, get back in the car right now." And we're worried that the guy who we thought had kind of succumbed to my appropriation of Irishness has now figured out I'm actually fucking British. So we're throwing things back in the car, slamming everything shut, and then we all sit down. Angie turns to me and rather gingerly says, "Hey, Rupert, have you got that hatchet?" And I say, "Me? Hatchet? Hatcheting people, right? Yes, no, I thought we'd kind of done the roles here, and I'm potato salad guy, you're everything else." And I'm pretty sure hatcheting doesn't come under potato salad, but I will try and find it. So I'm scrambling around trying to find it. I get it. Nod to her in the affirmative. Matthew in the front seat gets out a whittling knife to protect himself. So we leave this field not knowing what was behind us. Tires still flat, so going about 10 miles an hour. Mine's going thousands of miles an hour, and head back in to Multahua. We see on the other edge of town a gas station, and two heavily armed guards outside of it, and we decided that we would just try and camp here for some reason. Don't know why we did that. And so we surreptitiously set up camp next to gas pump number 1. Tires, I hasten to add, still completely fucked. We wake in the morning after an agreeably mediocre sleep, only to realize that the burly Afrikaner guy from the bar, who loved my fake Irishness, hated my actual Britishness, owned the actual gas station. So I take it upon myself to bargain in my Irish accent to get the tires fixed, and we make our way safely, thankfully, back to Cape Town. I do finish my thesis, and Zartman and I have a tumultuous divorce, and we never speak or read from him again. Angie and I do end up going to Zimbabwe, where she continues to point out to me very mediocre birds. and she even developed into even pointing out some tedious foliage at points as well. But 3 years later, we are now happily married. Yeah. Despite these unconventional beginnings. Thank you.